So in this video we're going to show how to make a social media application, and in this specific video I'm going to show how to make the authentication. So we're going to be able to register, log in and log out, and I'm going to use a bottom navigation activity for this so we get the fragments up and running at the start. So let's make a social media app. I'm going to use Java and not Kotlin for this. And the fragment that the application starts with is the home fragment, I believe. Let's double check that. Yes, so let's assign the home fragment to a login, logout / register page. And I will use data binding. I will not go into depth on explaining how data binding works. I have a video on that, which I will link in the description. So first of all, you wrap it with layout, and we need to go into Gradle like this, and we need to enable data binding by typing build features and data binding true. Sync it up. So let's start with the design. This is going to be a linear layout, and we remove the text, and the orientation is going to be vertical, so that we stack vertically. So we need two fields, email and password. So edit text, give it an ID, email field. Let's make it a hint, email. Change the gravity to center, like that. Let's make it, give it some margin, 200 maybe. Yeah, that's good. So let's copy this. Password field, remove the margin, hint, password, something like this. And then we need buttons. We need 3 buttons total. One for register, give it an ID, register button perhaps, and give it a text, which I already did. So let's copy this and make 2 more buttons, and give them IDs, login button and logout button. So this is the layout. Let me zoom in. It's going to look something like this. We of course need to change the text, so login, logout. And once we're done with this, we need to connect Firebase to our project, and you do that by pressing Tools, Firebase, and we want to connect Authentication here. And I'm going to use Authentication with Custom Authentication System. Connect to Firebase. This is going to pop up. You choose whatever project you want to use. I'm going to use my test project. Let it load. Connect. And your Android project is connected to a Firebase project. Perfect. So it's connected, and we add the Firebase SDK to the project so we can use the classes. And here you got some code here which show you how to use the actual login, exactly the thing that I'm going to show you. So you don't need to watch this video if you want to read this instead. But let's keep on moving. So now we have the layout done. We go into the home fragment. So we need to get the layout with the data binding here. So let's make a fragment home binding like this. And this is pretty simple. If you've watched my video, we just need to declare this binding. So it's going to be equal to data binding util.set content view. And what is the context? This is the context, the owner of this. And I'm just kidding because we need to get activity since we're working with fragments, so get activity. And the layout is just the fragment home layout. And instead of yeah, that's pretty much it. So now we need to get the state of the user to see if he's logged in or not. I'm going to remove some useless things here. So we need to get state of the user, and we're going to use firebase for this. We're going to use firebase of, name it MAuth. So this is the firebase authentication class, and we need to get the current state, and we do that by declaring this. So it's this authentication is equal to firebase.get this instance. So we get the instance of the current user. So let's keep on working in the onView create instead. So we need to register the user, and to do that we need to get the email and password when we have pressed the register button. So binding.register button, and we're going to add an onClick listener. So this is a new view.onClick listener, and we press Alt Enter. We can generate these methods. So now we need to register in Firebase with the email and password that we get from the UI. And how do we do that? We're going to use the Firebase authentication object. So it's pretty self-explanatory. We're going to use a method called literally sign up. Oh no, my fault. We're going to use a method called create user with email and password, and it takes in an email and a password. And how do we get those? We get those on the email field and the password field. So email field at get text.toString, and the same thing with the password. Get text.toString, and then we need to listen to when this action is done. So add on complete listener, and if you press Control space here, we're going to get all these objects, all these options. So we're going to use the task option, and we do some curly brackets. Can close this right here. So when this action is done, when we try to create a user with email, we need to check, did the task succeed? So is the task successful? Then we should notify the user somehow. So we make a toast and just make text, and the context is get the current context, so user created. If it failed, we should tell user that something went wrong, user not created. And you can get the exact message from Firebase what went wrong by typing .get exception .get message .toString. Maybe you don't need to string, but I'm just gonna make it simple and say something went wrong. So here we are creating a user. Can try it out. So I'm going to just type a random email here at gmail.com and ABC123. We press register. User created. And if we try to do this again, it's going to give us something went wrong. And this is because the user is already exists. So can replace this. So the user is created. So now we need to log in. And we do it with the same thing, but with the login button. Click listener, Alt Enter, Enter. So this is pretty much the same thing. We're going to use the Firebase authentication, and we do sign in with the email and password. And after that, you can pretty much copy this like that, and then we can copy You can copy this as well, but it's easier to type it out. So add on complete listener, control space, task, curly brackets, close this. So if the task is successful, if you manage to log in, let's make a toast and say user logged in. And if we didn't log in, something wrong happened. And let's try it out. So now I don't remember my email. Test email at gmail.com abc123. Let's try to log in. Something wrong happened. That's because we aren't registered. So let's try to register. User created, and let's try to log in. User logged in. So this is working. Now we need to log out. Log out. And same thing here. Oops. And this one is pretty simple. You just type sign out, and this will end the current session. So user signed out. So with this we have a pretty simple system. We can log in, we can log out, and we can register, but the user doesn't know that he's logged in and logged out except for the message here. So we need to change the UI. So when the user is logged in, we should remove the register and the login button. When the user is not logged in, we should hide the logout button, etc. And that's going to be in the next video. So we're going to make some observable objects like in my other videos, to remove and spectate and observe the elements of the user. So if we are logged in, the UI is going to change. If we log out, the UI is going to change. But this is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.